Hello and welcome to Wake Up with Awakened Youth number 19. And our question is today, what does it mean to be a creator, right? So a creator sounds like a pretty general term, right? It's like, okay, I create things. And specifically, we're talking about being a conscious creator. So a conscious creator is someone who consciously designs and creates their life and their experience, right? So growing up in traditional Western society, you are trained to take orders and to not really be a self. You're not really trained to be an individual. You're not trained to have your own personal take and view and perspective on things. You're not trained to think for yourself. So that as a given, being a conscious creator means being a self-authorized, self-actualized person who's consciously designing your own personal world. A great place to start with that is who you actually are. So, man, I could go for days on this one specific thing, so you better listen up. At which point in your life did the people that were raising you ask you deeply, who do you actually want to be? You don't get led or taught how to become your own person and how to design yourself. You see, everyone else has their opinion and their obligation and their story about who you are and who you must be, right? Like, you got to be this, you are this is who you are. Or, for example, like, you're stupid, you'll never this, blah, 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 blah. You must do this, go to school, get a job, blah, blah, blah. And there's all this obligation and there's all this pressure to be this person and this very strong story that you are this person, you're not this person, right? And from day one, right? Since you're like a baby, so you have, you get conditioned for like over 18 years pretty much until you wake up, right? You get conditioned and you just have no say in who you are. You have no say over your own personal identity until you wake up and embrace the process of self-actualizing, right? Of becoming your own person and becoming your own self-actualized human being. This can be super frustrating, and it is also one of the most fun, exciting things in the world. So right now, you probably have a bunch of things that you believe about yourself. You have a bunch of things that you believe to be true about who you are. You have a bunch of identity statements about who you are as an I am this. This is what's possible for me. This is what I'm capable of. And this is what is available to me in life. Yet, with that, these are all from other people. And they are not actually your own consciously created and chosen beliefs about yourself and your life. So when you take back control over your identity and you begin to consciously design who you are, you get to pretty much, you ever seen wrestling, like pro wrestling? Imagine if you get to create your own pro wrestler or your own superhero. I played a really cool game when I was about 14 years old called City of Heroes. And that influenced my life significantly because you were able to design your own superhero who had their own superpowers, and you get to design their costume like in some pretty major detail. And that was a huge inspiration for me. I was like, oh my God, because later on when I woke up to the fact that like, oh my God, other people have been telling me who I am. They've been telling me what my self-image is, and I have no control over it until now. I now get to design myself. I now get to design who I'm going to be. I get to design my own pro wrestler, superhero, badass dude, pretty much design my ideal self, right? And this is something we all get to do, because until you do this, you're going to be a cookie cutter or you're going to be what other people told you you are, and you're just going to play out those roles. It's like someone just like took a script and just put it in your hands and like, they're like, this is you, and you're just like, this is me because I don't know any better. I'm just gonna read this script. Okay, my script says I suck, I have no self-esteem, I'm a loser, blah 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 blah. You can see where that sucks gets pretty sucky pretty quickly, right? And what a conscious creator does is that you write your own script. You write your own script. You're like, okay, like I get that the world is trying to give me all this stuff and tell me who I am and just like tell me who I am and define me. And they want to point their fingers at me and tell me I'm that. But I'm going to write my own script. I'm going to willfully and consciously ignore what everyone else is trying to tell me about who I am. And I'm going to focus on who I am today. Okay, I'm strong. I'm awesome. I rock. I love myself. I love my life. Now, obviously, this can sound pretty try hard, right? It's try hard. I'm awesome when deep down you feel like you suck. I'm great when you know you're really behaving like a loser or whatever. So that said, it's important to know. It's important to know that this principle is in operation all the time. And by simply taking back control of the programming process of your own identity, right? Your own identity, you over time can redirect the direction of who you are. Because again, you've had like 18 plus years of people telling you who you are. You've had 18 plus years of conditioning and programming to tell you who you are. And now you are starting on day one with something completely brand new that is probably in direct conflict with who you think you are. So that creates internal conflict. So it's just like adopting a new habit and breaking an old one. It takes consistency, it takes time, it takes effort, and you got to show up for it every single day. And you got to consciously and willfully reprogram your mind and your consciousness to create that new outcome, that new identity. Great places to start is to start considering who you actually want to be in your life. Start considering what you actually want to do in your life, and start considering your ideal self. If you could just snap your fingers and completely self-actualize as your ultimate version of yourself, who is that? If you can get really, really clear on who that person is, then you'll be very successful going down that path. The second thing is to then reverse engineer strategies to reprogram yourself automatically. For me, a big thing that I use is a form of affirmation. The first one being audio affirmations. There's a great channel on YouTube. I highly recommend you check it out. It's called Rockstar Affirmations. And what it does is it combines brainwave entrainment technology with affirmations that you can play in the background throughout your day. What I like to do, so I take my phone, I put on the YouTube channel, and I play these affirmations while I'm doing some work. And what it does is that it gets into my unconscious so that I start to naturally behave in alignment with that thing. The second thing is to put reminders in your space. So this is Kuan Yin over here. She's the Chinese mother of compassion. She's also known as an ascended master. But more importantly, for now, I put a bunch of these affirmations up in my space to remind me of who I am. And it's these consistent reminders and these consistent things you can do to remind and reprogram who you are. You can eventually reclaim your self-image, and you will become the person you want to be. So this is super huge, y'all. If you want to live your best life, you must understand the self-image principle. It's like you got to know it. It's like the number one factor in behavior psychology. Is human beings' strongest need is to remain consistent with their self-image. So this is like some serious hardcore science-backed stuff that you ought to know if you want to live your best life. So start today and become the conscious creator of your self-image. And then from there, it'll be so easy and so much easier to then create the rest of your life. Because once you have your self-image down, then you have control of your behavior, because self-image dictates behavior. And when you have that, your behaviors are going to create what comes next, and your behaviors create what comes next, and what's next is preferably what you want, right? So that's a quick rant on, I believe the first major component of being a conscious creator is reclaiming who you are and how you're going to show up in this world. So awakened youth, yes, this is my own, I wouldn't necessarily call it a persona. Perhaps it's an alter ego that I created for myself so that I could more fully and accurately express what I want to express in this world. So wishing you well, wellness, wholeness, balance, strength, vitality, and an amazing life. Peace. I'll see you tomorrow. There's so much I got to share with you. There's so much knowledge, y'all. Knowledge, y'all. Knowledge is awesome. You can learn so much. You can learn so much about the way this world works. And in doing so, empower yourself to live a better life. So never doubt that. Okay, y'all? All right. Peace. Goodbye.